Guinness Whiskey, sponsored TV of character.
Who started it?
I started it.
For a decade, their clubs dominated English football.
A captain's goal from Patrick Vieira.
In a brilliant, vicious Premier League rivalry that's never been better.
Roy Keane, who else?
Manchester United, Arsenal. Ferguson, Wenger. Treble winners, Invincibles.
They're the best teams in England and they really do not get on.
And at the centre of it, setting the tone, doing whatever it took, an Irishman and a Frenchman.
It's all starting to overheat.
Keane, Vieira.
See up there. Come on up here. Come on. Nothing more in here. Understand? Thank you.
I had a lot of hatred for Arsenal because I knew they were big rivals. I can't think of any other word that springs to mind when I was getting ready to go to battle with Arsenal. Absolutely. Hatred was the word.
When you finish the game, the first result you're going to look at is what United did. If you want to win the league, you have to finish above United. It was simple as that.
On a Monday, I would be, particularly the parts of my body which had had previous injuries, whether it was my cruciate or my hip or previous knocks, they would be aching me. And I know it was just because my body knew I was going to be going into battle, and it was almost getting ready to say, listen, I'm going to suffer.
Describe Patrick Vieira, the opponent.
Very, 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 very tough.
What was his biggest strength?
He was tough.
Describe Roy Keane, the opponent.
He's a winner. He's a leader.
The biggest compliment I give Patrick is I knew I always had to be at my very, very, very best against him. I couldn't have an off day against him.
He's my favorite enemy. I don't know if that makes sense for you, but it did make sense for me because I loved every aspect of his game.
What about the bad things?
The bad things? He can lose his head. He can forget about the game. He can be reckless. He can be reckless. Right, how are you?
Okay.
What was his biggest weakness?
I don't think he was as tough as me.
How do you make that judgment?
I just know from playing against him.
Did he intimidate you?
No, he excites me.
Arsenal, Manchester United has got personal now.
Usually when you play against certain teams like Arsenal, there's usually one or two players you might like, but I don't remember liking anybody at Arsenal. I have to say, and I used to build myself up to have that hatred and get my body psyched up because I knew I had to be at my kind of angriest, to be at my best in a sense against Arsenal. I never felt like that against any other team, but Arsenal certainly brought out something different in me.
You get used to beat any team, to win everything, and maybe you guys didn't get used to get that challenge. But of course you had the Liverpool before, but maybe the Arsenal with all these kind of foreign players who come in, and it was maybe something new. Maybe you had something that you don't like about the foreigners come in and bring something different.
I think it was strange as well that usually when there's rivalry between clubs, there's some sort of mutual respect amongst the managers, and they almost play it down a little bit, but nobody was taking the heat out of it. Do you not think it was the media were loving it?
The media loving it.
The media obviously loving it. I think the managers were almost enjoying it because I never remember the manager ever saying to me, "Listen, relax before the Arsenal game," or kind of chill out a little bit. It was like they were kind of quite happy for us to get our backs up a little bit even before we started.
And when you look at what was your strength and what was my strength, I think it's quite similar. If one of us take advantage of the other ones, we may have more chance to win the games.
Absolutely.
I knew that before the game, if I was over you, we may have more chance of winning the game because I know how you was important.
Every time we played, you thought, there's going to be fireworks.
You
and on top
didn't,
of that,
you didn't know what to expect.
Of course.
You didn't know what to expect.
When I first came through, obviously I was up against Paul Gascoigne, Brian Robson, and you always have to establish yourself. It took me 3 or 4 years. Then I was up against the David Baddies, the Rob Lees, the Gary Speeds, and then you were coming along and I'm thinking, obviously there's a new young kid on the scene. It's almost, my job was to try and keep you down there. So that was an important role for me, that I didn't feel you were going to get the edge of me, because I needed to dominate even the players at Man United, my own midfielders. So if you were beating me in all these rivalries and these battles in the middle of the park, I think it would have cost me long term. So I had to try and keep you quiet, which is obviously difficult.
But that's why I think we are similar. That's why I think we make it. Maybe we should. Can you get close to this one here? Look, you should get close to that one here. Look.
What age are you there? 17? 16?
No, I was 18, 17, 18. I was in Cannes.
What did you have as a young pro that other talented players didn't have?
Heart.
The dream was to be a footballer. I had no other dreams about anything else. I'd left school with no real education, which is a big regret. When I got to Trial of Forest, I knew I wouldn't be coming back.
I can do sacrifice, and I can work really hard because I wanted to make it. I wanted to be successful, and I was not going to give up.
I had massive desire and determination, ridiculous amount of hunger. I was proud of my roots, but I also wanted to get away from my area. I wanted to go in and achieve something.
What was your greatest moment at Arsenal?
Greatest moment. First year we won the double, 98. The commitment of the players, the love that the fan showing to the people, the atmosphere in the stadium. This is where I realized I was in a really special place.
What was your one greatest moment at United?
I think signing for him. Getting an opportunity to play for Man United was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely. I'd had 3 great years at Forest, and going to United was brilliant. Dream come true, I suppose.
What is the one proudest moment of your career?
When Arsene decided that I was going to be the captain, when Tony Adams wasn't there anymore.
I suppose winning the treble with United was a good achievement, a great achievement, really, in fairness to a really good bunch of players.
What's the first quality a great captain has to have?
Leadership.
Try and be the best player.
Who was the best manager you played for?
Arsene Wenger.
Who's the best manager you played for?
Without a doubt, Brian Clough.
Not Sir Alex.
You asked me the question, I answered you.
Giggs! Oh, fantastic!
It was like the end of the world.
I never felt for 1 second I was more important than the manager. Absolute nonsense.